Now loading podcast, period.
This is an extraction.
So who are the players?
Biggest drug lord in India versus biggest drug lord in Bangladesh.
Some mythic shit, huh?
It's a kidnapping. Drug lord's son. Clock's running at 16 hours. Proof of life as of 6 hours ago.
You want to survive, you do exactly as I say.
Who are you?
Name?
Ovi.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Podcast Period, the internet's stupidest podcast. My name is Ben, and with me, as always, is my co-host, David.
What's up, guys?
Anyway, we've got something a little bit different for you guys this episode. We're doing a movie review, I guess. We're just going to talk about Extraction. If you guys listened to our last episode, you know that's what this episode is going to be about. We both watched it. So we're just going to go through that, and then we've got some trailers at the end that we're going to watch. So be on the lookout for that if you want to listen to some interesting, we'll call them interesting trailers by the look of it. So Extraction. The synopsis that the internet is giving me is: a black market mercenary who has nothing to lose is hired to rescue the kidnapped son of an imprisoned international crime lord. But in the murky underworld of weapons dealers and drug traffickers, an already deadly mission approaches the impossible. So, with that out of the way, David, what did you think of this movie?
Well, first of all, I think we need to go back and do a proper introduction to Extraction, because we failed to mention who it stars and who it's by. So it's this year's probably best Netflix movie so far, and
Definitely.
probably will be the best one for any length of time to come, given Netflix's somewhat lousy track record lately.
As far as their original movies go, yeah.
Exactly. We've got Chris Hemsworth, a.k.a. Thor, or in this case, not Thor.
Yeah.
And we've got the Russo brothers as our producers. So, I
found out that the director, I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. He was actually the stunt coordinator on Avengers Endgame.
That makes total sense.
Yeah. So, and then we've also got, for a brief moment in time, what's that dude's name? Hopper from Stranger Things. That guy. Did I put him in here? I think I did.
Was he the guy that Tyler was...
David Harbour. That's his name. Yes. Gaspar.
Yeah, okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
I did not recognize him until you said who it was, and now I can't get that out of my face.
Mm-hmm.
Well, out of my mind, I should say.
So, with that out of the way, what did you think of the movie?
Oh God, I loved it. I had a feeling from the trailers that we watched that I was going to love it, and it lived up to all of my expectations. It is funny at some points.
Mm-hmm.
Very action-packed, very dramatic. It doesn't stop. It's non-stop for the most part. There are a few slow moments here and there, but they're also filled with some interesting conversation and interesting turn of events. It definitely... I didn't see a couple of things that happened coming. It was a surprise to me, so... it keeps you on your toes. It's great. It's got Chris Hemsworth in it, which is reason enough to watch it and love it. Those rippling man muscles just get to anybody. I don't know. There's not enough good things to say about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm glad they let him use his actual accent in this movie, so he didn't have to stretch to do a British accent. I guess British isn't too far from Australian, but still, he didn't have to put on an accent other than his own. So that was nice with him.
Yeah.
I I really, really enjoyed this movie. I think, like you said, it is 100% nonstop. Like it does not, except for the brief moments where we get like a little bit of backstory on the character, which I didn't mind at all. I was already intrigued by what little they showed of the backstory at the beginning of the movie.
Exactly.
So them slowing down to give me that information was like, okay, yeah, I can feel that. And it's not like it lasts like 15 minutes. You don't have 15-minute dialogue scenes in this movie. No. You have maybe 5 minutes and then you're back into the action again.
Yeah. Exactly.
Or you're at least on your way to the action.
Mm-hmm.
The American cast or the traditional cast in this movie is fantastic. I didn't know any of the Indian actors, but they were all really good too. Especially the dude that played Saju, the ex-Special Forces guy.
Yeah.
He was really cool.
Yeah, I liked his character and I liked his role a lot. It was It was refreshing.
I would say he was about on par as far as acting and physical ability goes as Chris Hemsworth is.
I would say you're not too far from the truth on that one.
Yeah, this movie, from probably about, what would you say? It didn't take them that long to even get to the first little action scene. I'm not talking about the part before the title screen because that was obviously like a bumper, but
exactly.
It's maybe 7-8 minutes before his friend gets shot in the head and he gets kidnapped. It's ridiculous.
Which I did not see that coming either. I was like, no. For reference, we're gonna do. This is not going to be a spoiler-free review. Okay. At the beginning of the movie, we follow around the main character, Ovi, or Avi. I don't remember exactly how his name is pronounced. It's Avi? Avi.
Okay. We follow him around and his friends, and, he gets chastised when he gets home by Saju, who's, his caretaker person in this movie. And then, I don't know, 5-6 minutes in, he gets a text message saying, hey, we're all going to the club. You should come to the club with us. So he goes. And his friends are getting on to him about talking to this girl that he really likes, but he's super nervous. So one of his friends takes him outside, and he has a joint, and he lights it up, starts smoking it, and he tries to pass it off to Avi, but some cops come up, and start kind of chastising them about having the weed. But then they're kind of playing it off oh, it's no big deal. Don't even worry about it. We know all about it. Blah, blah, blah. And then out of nowhere, I did not expect it at all. One of the cops pulls out his gun, puts it to the other kid's head, and just bam, he's gone. He did not have a chance.
No.
It was the most action-packed intro you could ever have. Yeah. It was ridiculous.
And not even, a second later, Avi doesn't even have the chance to process what has just happened. He just has that immediate knee-jerk reaction, and they've got him covered in a hood and taking him away.
Yeah,
it's oh, God. I couldn't imagine that.
It's that way from pretty much that point on. We obviously had to lead up into them hiring Chris Hemsworth and a few other people, although we don't see that process. Hiring Chris Hemsworth to come and get Avi, sorry. But even that point is probably at the most 10 minutes, and then it's back into the action.
Yeah.
It's crazy. This this film is 2 hours long, and it's crazy how much it manages to fit with all of the action and all of the little pieces of heart that they put in there. It's amazing how much they managed to fit.
And for something that has so much action in it, I'm not once confused about what was happening.
No,
they did such a good job of making the point, but not taking for freaking ever to do it. It was point made, done, action. Point made, done, action. I was like, yes, this is what a movie needs to be.
Yeah,
we don't need 30 minutes of explainers.
I want to touch on the action scenes in this movie too, because I feel like they were especially well done, which makes sense because the director is a stunt coordinator as well. But did you ever see any of the Jason Bourne movies?
A few of them. Here and there.
So the first two are the one I've seen all of them, I believe, but the first two are probably the best ones in my opinion. They kind of go downhill from there in story and in cinematography. But Jason Bourne, as far as the movies go, is kind of like his thing is being able to make a weapon out of anything. And I feel like this movie does that really well too. So in the first big action scene where Chris Hemsworth, where Tyler, which is Chris Hemsworth in universe name, where he comes back and clears the room and gets Abby out of where he's at, and they start going on the run and stuff. That scene was filmed spectacularly, especially when he loses the gun and he has to go around finding different things to hit people with, like the pitchfork thing and the table. The table.
Oh my, jeez,
that was visceral. I had a visceral reaction to that. Okay, so to explain, do you want to explain this? I'll let you explain this.
Okay, well, I don't know the exact circumstances of what he was doing at that point. I think he had lost his gun, and the other guy either was about to grab a gun, or he was going to come after him with a knife or something. But there was some reason he needed to get that guy down immediately, and the only thing in his vicinity was this wooden table, and he just takes this table that's right in front of this guy, and just shoves it. And I don't mean pins him against the wall and shoves it into his neck. He sends this thing flying at what looks like, I know it's not possible, but 100 miles an hour. I mean, this thing went flying across the room.
That man
and just goes
had
straight
no
into
skull
his
left.
neck. Yeah, exactly.
He had no skull left after that table hit him. It was ooh. Oh man. And then the other big set piece in that fight was, I think, the very last, not the kid, but the very, very last guy that he takes out with the end of the rake.
The rake.
Where they set up the establishing shot. You can feel it. You're like, I see where this is going.
Yeah.
And then you see him fighting this other guy over to where the head of the rake is. And you can see him pushing his head down over it. And this guy is like, no, you can see the struggle. And then finally
the moment of hesitation is like, he's not going to do it. And then he just whoosh, he just slams his head.
He's gone. He is gone. Oh my gosh. And then right after that is the first, I don't know, it's the first moment of it wasn't funny, but it did give us a little bit of brevity where the kid is holding the gun and he's trying to shoot Tyler, but he doesn't know how the gun works, so he ends up not being able to use it.
Yeah.
So he's just standing there trying to get this. It's like a bolt action sniper rifle. He's trying to get it working, and then he finally thinks he's got it working, and he levels it and he shoots it, and then nothing. And then Tyler just comes up to him and takes it out of his hands and throws it, and he's like, "Get out of here!
Get out of here, kid!" I was like, "Okay, good for you. You spared the kid's life. He obviously wasn't a serious threat because he don't know what he's doing." Good for you.
Oh man. Yes. See, that's when this fight scene was when I knew I was going to just be wholeheartedly in love with this movie.
Is that the movie? Is that the point in the movie that you had texted me and said this movie is so much better than I thought it was going to be, or something?
It
like
was
that?
farther than that. It was farther
Okay.
in than that, but I was still. That was the point where I was like, "All right, I got you, movie. I see where you're going with this." It was so good. And then I think my other favorite fight scene is kind of towards the end with the smoke grenades. That little fight scene with him and Farad.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. So to set this up, maybe I wasn't paying attention enough, but do you know what was going on the rooftop? Like, why? I get it that it was because of money, but where, like, what the money was for, or why the money was stolen, or whatever? Did we ever get?
I don't think they gave specific instructions as to what had happened. All I know is I remember the scene on the rooftop, and they're obviously being and it's like a group of like, what, 7, 8? I'd say 8 to like maybe 15-year-old kids or something like that.
They can't be more than 15. Can't be.
And there was some really young ones in there too, and I was like, "Oh God, what is going on?" And I guess you could call him the bodyguard or the assistant or whatever. One of the guys literally takes the kid, just throws him off the top of the rooftop, and says something about, "All right, you little bastards, is one of you going to talk?" or something like that. And he goes to grab another kid, and then Farad finally speaks up. And I don't know if this was the truth or if he was trying to just save his own ass or save the other kid's ass or what, but tells them that the person who stole the money was the person that you just threw off the roof. And it set up a pretty strong dynamic immediately that what is it? How was his name pronounced? The drug lord.
Where is it on here? I had his whole name. Blah 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 blah. It's Amir Asif.
Asif. Okay, thank you. So Amir strikes up the small conversation with the kid, basically wanting him to prove his loyalty. Hands him a knife and says, "Cut off your fingers."
It's not to prove his loyalty. He specifically words it as he wants him to be a walking reminder why you don't steal his money.
Yes, there you go. Okay, you're right. That's exactly what he said. And somebody, I think it was the general, had come up and said that they had lost the kid, or one of the lieutenants or whoever, one of the dirty cops in the movie comes up and tells Amir that they have lost Avi, and Amir goes, "Well, this is your lucky day." I think he said something about you're smart and lucky. I was like, "Oh, well, this guy means business."
Yeah. So
that explains that.
Yeah. So right after that scene, Farad like follows Asif down to his car, and basically Asif recruits him into his crew. So up until this point, we don't really see Farad again, but he comes out of nowhere and attacks Tyler and Avi after they've kind of been hiding out in this like office in a factory, like after Tyler's been kind of scratched up from everything. I love this fight scene because it really just, I don't know, it exemplifies how cool this character is. So it begins with these two dudes riding in on a motorcycle. They start shooting up everything. They make one pass and then they turn around and come back. Tyler gets this like piece of rebar off of the ground and he spears it into the wheel and causes these guys to go flying like probably a good 20-30 feet.
Yeah.
They're done. So he's like, okay, well, that's that taken care of. And they start walking away, and then they start getting shot at again. and it turns out it's Farad and a few other like neighborhood kids, I guess. So Tyler throws these smoke grenades, a couple of them, to kind of obscure what's happening, because it doesn't really seem like there's a whole lot of cover for them.
Yeah.
And he basically just goes out and wrecks these kids. Like they have zero chance against him. And the best part of this fight is that he doesn't punch Farad. I think he throws him around a little bit, but he does not punch Farad. He just straight up slaps him like 2 or 3 times before he finally goes down. It was hilarious. I laughed so hard when I saw that. He was just like, whack, whack. Yeah. Ooh, that was...
I couldn't believe that.
It was so good.
That was like... That was like going back to the earlier like WTF moment that he had when he realized who the heck was shooting at him, when he sees it's these punk neighborhood kids, and that just goes back to that, and like, well, this is how we handle you guys, and just straight across the face. I was like, oh, he just got pitch slapped.
It was so good. I loved that scene. What were some of the scenes that stood out to you besides the ones I've already talked about?
All right, so I would have to say one of them that touched me more than anything else, because it was more of an emotional scene. It's probably one of the more emotional scenes out of all of these really overly packed action scenes. Would be the one where poor Avi has to shoot Seiju. No, not Seiju. God, what's his name?
Gaspar. Yeah.
Gaspar. Thank you. Goodness God. Getting my names confused. After all that, what seemed like humble intentions of saving them too, bringing them out of the sewer, gives them shelter and stuff, and basically saying, this kid's going to get you killed. It's best that we just put a bullet in his head and be done with it. These animals are going to tear him up and do so much worse. We could just end this now, put a bullet in his brain, and be done with it. Just
and,
to save his own ass.
$10 million out of it, too.
Exactly. And it's like, well, guess you're going to be an asshole. And Tyler's disagreeing with him this whole time. And he's like, no, this ain't how this is going to go down. They get into a fight. And Gaspar gets the slight upper hand, and looks like he's gonna. I think it was like a table leg or something like that. It was a fairly good sized hunk of wood. Looked like he was about ready to spear Tyler straight in the head with it. Oh yeah! And looks up just in time to see Ivy coming down the stairs with a gun in his hand, and then he gets off of Tyler, and I guess he goes to try to make a move for Ivy, like an idiot. Are you going to come up for the... I guess he figured the kid wasn't going to do anything.
Yeah. I mean...
And to be honest, I don't blame him either.
Yeah, no, I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. But, I mean, he is like... He's a highly trained assassin, basically just like Tyler is. So you'd think like, well, this kid isn't really going to do anything to me, and if he gets one shot off, maybe I'll probably be okay anyway. Yeah. But Avi gets 2 good shots off, and he's done.
But it was just a look on Avi's face. It's like, oh God, that kid just had to do that, and you could just tell it hurt him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And Tyler just goes over there and somewhat consoles him, at least a little bit, in some small way, and it's like, ugh. So it was action packed because of the Tyler Gaspar fight, but Avi shooting Gaspar was probably the bigger deal on that part to me.
Oh yeah. Is there anything else?
And then I don't think a whole lot happened besides a lot of car chase scenes to get to the bridge. I mean, they got in that big truck, and of course the police had a bigger truck this time around, and it's like, oh great, here we go. Of course everybody's got to have something bigger. But I think the next like big thing that I really loved was the whole bridge situation.
Yeah. That was definitely the big climax of the film. That was really well put together too, I think.
Yeah. I didn't see where Tyler called Saju just before this, but I guess they made up at some point. And because Saju's like after Tyler's entire movie, trying to get the kid, and I thought for a minute he was trying to get the kid because he was trying to do something bad to Avi, but apparently he wasn't. He was just trying to get him back for his dad, which is what it made it look like he was going to do in the beginning of the film. But I mean, everything went to hell in a handbasket, and I was like, well, I don't know what this guy's real motives are. But they work together, and of course Tyler gets stuck all by himself, and he has a really good use of his weapons. Not only the deadly weapons, but also the grenades and stuff. He makes use of everything that he's got, and he does it really effectively. So I loved his trained arts and everything that he does. But they finally get to the bridge, Saiju and Avi, and you got the helicopter that comes in, and Avi's trying to hide in the bus, and Tyler's team finally comes up and does some help. Shoots the helicopter out of the sky, and you can just see the other drug lord, forgot his name, just
Asif.
looking. Yes, thank you. Looking at it from maybe 2-3 miles away on the top of a building through binoculars, and tells the general to go. Well, says something about take care of this or something like that, and the general yells to somebody, "Get me my rifle." And then you see the general start taking sniper shots at different people on the bridge. I was like, okay, well, I don't see any way out of this one. And Tyler finally makes it on the scene. It takes a little bit, but the general finally gets a shot off and hits Tyler. And I was like, oh, God. And this is where they brought that very beginning opening scene from the beginning of the movie and brought it back into the movie and gave it the context that we needed to know what was happening. And then right after that, Avi runs up to him, and I forget who it was. I don't know if they ever said her name.
I'm pretty sure her name is Nick.
Nick? Okay. Yeah. She finally gets... because she's been looking for the general or whoever's been doing the sniping, because they obviously don't know who it was. But
he's been picking off like a good amount of the people on the bridge.
Yeah, I'd say at least 5, 6.
Yeah, and he killed Saju.
Yes, and he killed Saju. I almost forgot about that. And she finally finds him through her scope. And just before he has the chance to finish Tyler off, she shoots him. And that's a really good headshot, too. I say, yes, she got the bastard.
Yes. That was a very like fist pumping moment.
Yeah. And then, so she takes Avi, and the rest of the team try running towards the other side of the bridge that they came from, running towards the helicopter. Tyler tells Avi to run for it. And it looks like Tyler's going to make it away, too. I mean, the general's gone, so you don't have to worry about any more sniper shots from him. Tyler's killed everything on the bridge, even as injured as he is. I mean, he's taken a lot of beating in this movie, too. And then the bridge scene and all that. And he's got that sniper's bullet from... I think it hit him in the chest or something, or maybe in the arm. It hit him somewheres, but it wasn't necessarily a kill shot, or at least it didn't seem like it was really going to do anything to him.
Yeah.
And that little bastard comes up from behind.
Farad, yep.
Farad. And shoots him right through the neck. And I was like, I want this guy to live.
It's the only way he would have won, too. He knows it.
I was so pissed at that.
That's what makes it so infuriating, is because in a one-on-one fight, Tyler would have won that, but
Yeah.
this little he has to come up from behind him and shoot him in the back.
They didn't get him, did they?
No.
They started shooting at him, but they missed him. And he took off running.
Nick shot at him a couple times with her rifle, but she didn't hit him.
She didn't hit him. I was like, you little bitch.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we see Tyler. I thought he fell, but then somebody made the point that it looked like he intentionally fell off the bridge.
Yeah, no, I think he just let himself go.
I thought it was like a moment of weakness and he just toppled over, but now, like you said, I think it was actually intentional. Especially once you get to the ending.
Oh yeah.
Did you draw the same conclusion I did on that? I'm assuming you did.
As far as
the pool deck person, the one that was intentionally blurred out. Couldn't really tell who it was, but you could tell it was somebody.
No.
As Avi got up from the bottom of the pool after his dive.
No, I'm not. I'll have to go back and look at that. Are you saying that you think it's Tyler?
Yes.
Okay. I'll have to go back and look at that and see.
I'm surprised you didn't. Did you not see that?
Maybe I did. I don't know.
I mean, it was the very end of the film, and at that point, it seemed like things were racked up. It was like 8 months later.
Yeah.
Something like that. So
yeah, I remember the pool sequence. Yeah, I just don't remember. I don't remember anybody at the end of it.
I think my favorite at the end, though, would be Nick going in and killing Amir in the bathroom.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, that was beautiful.
He's just standing in the bathroom at a urinal, about ready to do his business. We see this woman stroll up next to him on his left. He looks at her, and he had obviously no clue what was happening. I don't know if he was like, damn, you're fine, or what the hell are you doing in the men's room, or I don't know what was going through his mind at that time. But I do know the last thing that went through it was a bullet.
Yeah.
She just straight up took it out and shot him. It's like, yes, thank you.
That was a nice little cherry on top.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I think those are my two favorite scenes. I like the emotional scenes besides the action scenes.
Yeah. I think the last, I was thinking about it while you were talking about the bridge scene. The last scene that I want to focus on that really, it gave me a very visceral reaction. It was one of the action scenes towards the beginning of the film. It was right after Tyler and Avi got out of the apartment and Saju had just started chasing them. Mm-hmm. They'd gotten away from the police. Saju had caught up to them, and both Tyler and Saju like kind of fell off of the second story of the building that they were fighting on.
Oh yeah,
they got onto street level.
Yeah.
So they get down there, they're fighting, and then out of nowhere, Tyler just gets like T-boned by a car. So you're looking at that, you're like, oh, gee, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's not getting back up, at least not for a good while. Saju thinks the same thing. He goes and he hears Avi crying out because some police have caught up to him. He goes and takes care of them and grabs him back. Mm-hmm. And he starts talking to him like, we're going to get you out of here. We're going to get you back to your dad, blah, 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 blah. And then out of nowhere, he gets smacked by a truck.
That should have killed him.
He got flung 20 feet the opposite direction.
That should have killed him.
As soon as Dad saw that, I was like, oh my God, what?
That was like human pancake right there. That was, ugh.
That was so good.
Looking back at that, Saju and Tyler should have been dead like 5 times in this movie.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah.
Which now
Maybe
that you said that
maybe
makes me
Tyler
think
more
of
than Saju,
yes,
honestly.
yeah.
At least Saju had a chance to relax a couple days after he got smacked by a Mack truck.
Mm-hmm.
But
What
even
about that?
still.
What about that nose?
Oh God, yeah, that was bad too. Oh.
I mean,
I was like, I saw that. I saw that when he was looking at it in the mirror. I was like, no, no, no,
yep. As soon
no,
as I saw how
no,
crooked it was,
no, no. He reaches up his hand and he just,
ugh.
And then you saw the blood just splatter in the sink that he was
Sink.
over. Oh
Ugh.
man,
Ugh.
man, I could not do that. Oh my God, man, if I'd ever broken my nose like that, you'd have to put me under before you reset it.
Yeah.
I would just pass out. There's no doubt about it.
It hurt just looking at it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
No kidding.
no.
Oh my gosh. It was bad. It was real bad.
All right.
All right, yeah. Unless there's anything else you've got to say about it, I think that's where we're going to leave this.
No, I think that just about covers it. I mean, Avi escapes. You're gonna have to watch that Tyler thing.
Yeah.
At the very
You know
end.
what? You know what? I'm gonna pull it up real quick. See if I can find it. I'll just have to cut this part out.
That's fine.
Okay, I see who you're talking about now. Yeah, that could totally be. That could totally be Tyler.
It's one or two things, in my opinion, because I don't see it being this third thing, but I guess there could be three possibilities. Possibility one is it's Tyler. Possibility two, and I only say this because of the many flashbacks that Tyler has of his son on the beach. And they're all cloudy and distorted up until the very end of the movie where he finally has like a clear vision of his son.
Mm-hmm.
His son had died because of leukemia. I think
lymphoma.
it was. Okay. Close enough.
Mm-hmm.
Cancer sucks. So I was thinking maybe it's a vision that Avi is having, kind of, sort of.
Could be.
But I think that's less likely because you could tell Tyler's visions were like mental and in his head. And that's not the case. At least I don't think that's the case with Avi in this because he wasn't even looking in that direction.
Not at first, no.
At first. And I don't know. The third possibility, and I think this one's a lot more likely than possibility two, is it's just another bodyguard. Maybe.
Yeah.
But why is it a white dude?
Yeah, I think
it's very clearly a white dude.
I think the most likely answer is that it's Tyler.
Okay. That's what I thought, but I wasn't positive.
Yeah.
I mean, you can leave it up to whatever interpretation you want. Unless they make a second one, there's not going to be any definitive answer unless one of the producers or the director comes out and gives a final actual statement on that. But
yeah, exactly.
Since I wanted him to live, I'm going to say it's him.
Mm-hmm.
And there ain't anything you can do to disprove me at this point.
Yeah, so I think that's where we're gonna leave this as far as the movie review portion goes. What would you give this out of 5 reset broken noses?
Oh, that's such a terrible ratings. Would it be better to give it 0 out of 5 broken noses? Because I don't want to have any broken noses.
Nope. It's they're reset broken noses, David. They're fine now.
Oh God. Okay. Back to being serious. It's a solid 4, maybe a 4.5. It's not a 5, but it's up there. There's a couple of things. I think my biggest critique, and it could just totally be me. There's a lot of car chase scenes where they did. I think, if for my liking, it was too zoomed in on the cinematography. There could have been a little bit more detail in the frame, especially when they're whipping these cameras back and forth with the direction of the cars, seeing what threat is coming from which direction. It's kind of too fast. It's almost motion sickness inducing because it's not quite wide enough, to my opinion. But other than that, I can't think of anything else to bitch about.
Yeah, I think I got to give this one a 4.5. There's not really much that I had issue with it. It's not a perfect movie, but I mean, it's a darn good Netflix original movie.
It's one of the better ones I've ever.
Oh,
I'm trying to think if there's a better Netflix movie I've seen.
No, there is not a better Netflix movie that's out there. Maybe better Netflix shows. But movies, no. This is the best one they've ever come out with, 100%.
I'm trying to think of what other Netflix movies I've seen to compare it to, and honestly, none of them are memorable enough to even think of at the moment.
I know, yeah.
So I guess that does answer that question. Yeah, it is the best.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got a few trailers for you. We're going to watch them. Basic gist of this is we're going to let you know, despite the current climate, whether or not it's a movie that's going to come out on demand. This is our rating system. We're going to let you know whether we would see it and if we would go see it in theaters or wait for a rental. So that's the basic gist. Let's get on with it. The first one that we have is for a movie called Capone.
Do you know what the difference is between Adolf Hitler and Al Capone? Hitler's dead. Capone lives like a king in Florida.
He has full-blown dementia.
I have reason to believe it could all be an elaborate act.
What's this about?
We have information that your client may have tucked away a very large sum of money.
You can drop the act now.
You got goons walking around.
Did he really have dementia?
I think towards the end of his life, yeah, he did.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
That is so interesting.
This movie looks very interesting. The only issue I have with the trailer is that god-awful makeup they put on Tom Hardy.
Yeah, I don't like it either. But
it was really bad. But the movie still looks pretty interesting, all that aside.
Yeah.
I think this would be one... if I could see it with somebody else, if I could see it with you, I would go see it. Otherwise, I would just wait for a rental, I think.
I want to watch it. I don't know if I would. It'd have to be with you, and only because I guess you'd want to watch it, because I don't see myself wanting to go watch this myself with somebody.
Okay.
It'd have to be you, and you would have to want to watch it. But yeah, I definitely want to see it. I wouldn't go see it at the theaters.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Okay, next movie we've got is Palindrome.
Go crazy. Go crazy.
Do you know a love story told backwards always has a happy ending?
Freedom! You want freedom?
Yes.
I'm a slave!
I'm not crazy.
You are actually intelligent enough to know your limitation group. You're like me.
so crazy.
So, do you love me?
But maybe that's because you're crazy.
I am sane.
You'll kill him.
Again. Maybe you are mad.
What a freedom! You're free! But then what? Wait!
Go crazy. Go crazy.
Again.
Maybe I'm crazy, but I have no idea what's going on here.
Yeah, I was just about to say this is like that trailer from last episode. I don't remember the name of the movie, and I don't want to, but it just seems like it was
Wedding Repeat.
What was it?
Love, Wedding, Repeat.
Yeah, that one. It seems like it was a bunch of clips that they brought together out of context, put some like real bass thumpy music over it, and tried to make it seem like it was a trailer for a thriller, but it just doesn't work.
No, I have no idea. I don't even have words. I don't.
Listen,
No, would not see it.
I want to preface this for people that are listening. This movie could be the best movie of all time.
It could be.
But we're basing what we're saying right now off of the trailer alone, and this trailer was awful. I would not go see this movie based off this trailer.
No. And that's the synopsis for this entire thing, is based on the trailer.
Uh-huh.
And
exactly.
that trailer is it's garbage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the movie's about. I don't know what the point is. I don't know what type of movie it is. I know nothing off of that trailer except for one person getting shock treatment therapy and repeatedly saying, "I'm not crazy." The person administrating it saying, "You'll kill him," and then the doctor saying again and again and again, over and over.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's it. That's all I know.
That's it. Apparently, that's all you need to know, David, according to the movie. Or the trailer, anyway. Okay, next we've got The Secret, Dare to Dream.
You are a very lucky girl.
Miranda Wells, will you marry me?
Not many men would be willing to take on somebody with your baggage. I mean, 3 kids, a mountain of debt.
Looking for Miranda Wells?
She's at work right now. You can leave it with me. I'm her son.
I'm afraid this comes with a little bit of an explanation.
Some hurricane warnings are up.
The weather guy says it's gonna miss us, but...
You can never be too careful. No matter how bad things are, they can always get worse.
Mom!
I'm expecting a call from the bank.
Ray Johnson.
Miranda Wells. There goes my deductible.
Don't waste your insurance on this.
Why is he taking our bumper?
Because he's offered to come over to fix it.
You're letting him follow us home? You come out here looking for her, then she runs into you? It's pretty weird.
Is it? Your thoughts attract things with a force that you cannot see, but is definitely real.
Okay, this is me thinking about pizza.
Don't look at me.
I want to see how this ends.
Yeah, this seems really interesting.
This is a movie that I would normally not want to see, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But it just seems so interesting, and I'm dying to know what's in this sealed envelope and everything else. And I don't know, it looks like a nice movie for once. It's not, doesn't seem to be overly spun or anything like that. It just seems like a decently humanly hearted movie, and I like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm 100% down with this. I think, would I go see it in a theater? Probably not.
No.
But I definitely would go see it.
Yes.
100%.
This is not spend $20, but I wouldn't see this for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so the last trailer we've got on the docket is for Killer Raccoons 2, Dark Christmas in the Dark.
Okay.
Yes, that's the real title.
A top top-secret Raccoon-operated laser satellite with nuclear capabilities. A team of domestic terrorists hell-bent on revenge. An undetectable moving headquarters held hostage.
Welcome aboard the Holiday Express, or as I like to call it, Raccoon Railways.
There's only one problem.
Smallwood, the name sounds familiar.
The Virgin from Raccoon Creek Campground is back.
The Raccoons, and they're smart ones.
Hold on, man. How do you know that?
Story of my life.
This Christmas, you can roast some chestnuts.
I never want to see another raccoon again.
You can leave cookies out for Santa.
Ho, ho, holy!
But don't feed the raccoons.
This is just the beginning.
Killer Raccoons 2. Dark Christmas in the Dark.
Looks like I've bitten off more than I can chew.
What? Let me just be the first to ask, what the fuck was going on in that trailer? What? What was that?
I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
What was that? Is this just a troll?
I don't, hold on, I have to look this up. Killer Raccoons movie. Oh my god, no, I found the original. It's been a long time though. This, okay, so the first movie is called Coons Night of the Bandits of the Night.
Okay.
It's a musical comedy horror satire film. Filmed on a budget of $5,000. Holy crap. Okay, David, we have to do this movie. We're gonna have to find the first one and do this, and then we're gonna have to do the second one when it comes out. This looks so retarded, David. We need to do this. We have to.
Alright, we'll do it. But only because I nearly died laughing at the trailer for the second one. Oh gosh.
We're gonna find the first one, and we're gonna watch it. Don't know if it's gonna be soon. Probably gonna be like a month or two, but we're gonna do it. We are 100% gonna do it. I'm gonna write it down on my phone right now so I don't forget it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we can't rate this guy. Oh, I don't know what to say.
What is there to say? I really don't know.
I don't think he can. I think the 2 minutes of nothing but basically out of breath laughing where I just about passed out there is just gonna have to suffice. Oh. What's the budget for the second?
I don't know.
10,000?
Doesn't look like there's a. Hold on. It doesn't look like there is a. Wait, is this going to be on Hulu? What is this? 2020. It doesn't say. $50,000. This is the estimated budget on IMDb. So I'm not sure if that's the actual budget or not.
Well, I could see that. It looks like a $50,000 budget.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
It looked like a 10th grade production for film class or something.
Listen, I was all about to write this off until the very last line. But hold on, what does he say? Looks like I've bitten off more than I can chew. Because the whole film takes place on a plane. That's the joke, guys.
All right.
Okay. Well, that is where we're going to leave this one, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to give us a rating on whatever podcast platform you're listening on, and we'll be sure to read it on the next episode of the show. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks for listening to this episode of Podcast Period. This episode was hosted and produced by Ben, co-hosted and edited by David. You can contact Ben on Twitter at BenPlaysVidjaz. That's Ben Plays VIDYAS. And you can contact David on Twitter at Car6by16. If you'd like to chat with us about any of the topics on the show, you can hit up the show at Podcast Period on Twitter or shoot us an email at podcastperiodpodcast@gmail.com. We also have a new website that has launched featuring new articles written by us, as well as links to all the episodes. Please visit that at podcastperiod.com. Want to do more for the show but aren't sure how? We have a Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you can get early access to episodes and so much more, and support the show while doing it. Just go to patreon.com/podcastperiod. That's all for this week. We'll see you next time.
This was a Nerdgasm podcast production.
Well, that was another in a long series of regrettable life choices.
Served at nerdgasmpodcast.com.